There we go. So I can work it and explain it at the same time. So,
Alright. Easy. So yeah, that's again the Panasonic web-based software
yep.
that we would log into from any computer, any web browser. We'll get everyone the address link so they can easily log into it.
Yep. So I do have it working within Internet Explorer.
Right,
I had to put Internet Explorer compatibility mode, so we'll just have to make sure that, you know, to ensure that the users can actually see it, just make sure that that's actually set up. So we're going to be changing the web address, just so you know. So
okay.
We're going to be changing the web address so it's more compatible with your current network.
Yeah.
Anyway, so once you type that in, it's going to ask for a login, username, and password. If any of that changes, or if you're going to create different usernames, we can actually do that in the system. So right now it's just a generic admin account that it's going into right now.
Yeah, we'll more than likely have
okay.
Several logins.
Okay, nope, that's fine. So this is how it's going to look on the screen for you. It'll show the 4 individual cameras. We're looking at it live at the moment. You have controls here as far as fast forward, rewind. So if you select a particular camera, you can actually rewind, fast forward that live video right from there. You can also do the date search. So that's so when you have an investigative task, like the police need to look at footage, or whoever needs to look at footage, you just select the date and the time frame, and you do a date search. So I'm just gonna, just for the heck of it, just say, let's say the 10th of December at 12 p.m. Do a date search. Is it thinking, or do I have something for that date? Let me go to a particular camera. Let me see if that makes a difference. Trash 3 door. Alright, so I'm looking at it live right now. I do a date search. Here we go. So I'm looking at trash building 3. I'm looking at the door camera, so it's looking at the outside of the doors. 3. 3 is that opposite corner in the back. 4 is the closest building, if I recall correctly. So we're looking at December 10th at 12 o'clock. You can actually select, so it kind of does it in like a 5-minute increment. So you can actually change that if you needed to. If you needed it longer, 10 minutes or so, you can actually change that here. Once you do that, and you have the footage, yes, that's the footage we need, you can hit download. And it's going to ask you with or without audio. The cameras don't have audio, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just video. If you wanted to, you could assign a password so that somebody who's going to view it needs to know the password to actually view the video. If I hit OK here, okay. So by default, and I think we can change these in the setup of the program itself, what it names for default. So it says, do you want to open this or save this file? I would hit save. And I think we can also change where it saves to. So right now it saves to... let's see where it saves to. So it saves it to the download folder. Is where it saves it to. So if I go to open the file, it doesn't know how to open it. It saves it as an N3R file. So that's where the viewer comes in. So let me just show you what that is. So if you notice next to the download button is something called the viewer. So it asks if we want to save it or do we want to run it. So in this example, I already have it on my system. I hit run and I installed it on my computer. So on my computer, and you can do the same thing for theirs, is install the ND viewer, and so they can view the videos or files with no problem.
The ND viewer?
It's going to download it from the NVR.
Okay.
Actually. So it's going to say, hey, do you want to save it? So when you save it, it downloads it onto your PC and then you can run it. If you're going to give this to, for example, the police
That's what I was-
department,
yeah.
if you're going to give it to them via USB or burnable disk, you're going to want to save it in a location on the machine, and when you copy the file over, copy the player as well, the viewer software as well,
Right,
so
so
they'll
but-
be able to view it.
But is the viewer software that you're copying, is it just the software and then you install, to
In other
allow
words,
them
does
to
it have
install
to be
it?
installed?
Yeah, it's not just is it like it's probably an executable, right, that you have to install the software?
Oh, let's see. Let's do this again.
Or
I
is
mean,
it-
I already installed it,
If, like, if
so
that's just sitting on the USB drive with the video, will you be able to just
run it.
run it from there, or do you have to actually, like, install that software on wherever?
That's a good question. Let me see what this does right here. Because I mean, the other software that I work with, when you export the video, it's still a proprietary format, but you can package a player along with it.
Right, that's
And the
right.
player, the player will automatically open up. You can drag the file right into the player, and the player automatically plays it. It's nice and simple. This one here.
That's kind of how I remember it being done in the
Yeah.
past. It's like, oh, the police need this, and they would put it on a.
Some of the files.
You know,
when they
at one
need to-
point I was able to convert it to MPEG or something like that, and it just played in Windows.
Right.
But
Yeah, this doesn't have a converter. That's why you have the viewer.
That's a problem, we do it sometimes.
so if we would, if we
Yeah. So basically, so what this is doing is it's installing
Installing
an ActiveX web
and it's
installer.
just a one file executable.
Yep.
So if you package that with the
So you
with
have
the USB, you just say to them, okay, install
there's
this.
two
and then
files.
we'll be able to
Install
view
this, and then you'll be able to view it. Yep.
Yeah.
So if I go to that, so once they do that, they open up ND Viewer.
So she do that, yeah.
Is the digital disc recorder
Some guy, they don't know who it is.
video player.
it. Right, and then you just open up that particular file.
You just open up that file, which yep, December 10th,
Yeah, that's it.
11:59.
Just the exterior.
And it gives them the playback and rewind and fast forward features of any
Yeah, that's already set, so
system.
it's not gonna change anything, I already talked to Alice.
And
Yeah, she just said just make sure the
you may have
television
said this
works,
already,
give
but
me more
when you
time.
download the file,
Yeah,
Yep.
other than that, we can keep going.
it downloads the viewer. I mean, I know you have to install the viewer, but does it download the viewer too?
I know what your question is. So
Like
what I would do is I would have a folder, and all you have to do is download the viewer once. Have that in that folder, and then whenever you download a video, just when you go to put it to a USB
right, yeah,
or
you
whatever,
don't have to worry.
drag the viewer and then the one file.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
But is the viewer just once the viewer is installed, is it just a file, or is it a whole bunch of? Because I'm thinking, like, from your perspective, when you need to get footage, a lot of times it's for the police, right?
Right.
So you're
I mean,
gonna-
once they have
you're
it,
gonna provide it. You're
you're
gonna
not going
want
to keep providing it. I mean, once they have it,
And then they
As
just,
long as
well,
it's
but
just
you know,
viewer.
is
It
the-
depends
is the
on who
police
they
department
are.
gonna
I
keep
think
it?
you will have to
Yeah.
keep giving them the viewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like attaching the viewer folder with the.
yeah, the viewer
File.
program along with the video file.
Right. So as long as they have the program that allows them to install the viewer, you just do that each time you
yeah,
send
yeah.
it to them.
when we get to that time and we gotta send some to the police, we'll make sure they can view the file that we send them, whether we have to walk them through and download
Yeah.
it and make
But
sure.
for
they
all
download.
purposes, it's only one download. that
Yeah,
we need,
once
like
it's
one
downloaded
folder.
on your computer,
Once it's in there,
we just,
yeah.
you
Right.
just
It's
play
just
that
like
with the
installing
viewer.
Word or something.
Okay.
Once it's
Yeah.
once it's on your
Yeah.
computer, it's there.
It's
You don't have
there.
to worry
Yeah,
about it.
and that's something maybe more for Dave, our security guy. Once we, if we got to the issue where we had footage we wanted to send it, we'd make sure that we'd send it with directions on how to obviously view
Right.
what we were looking at. Somebody?
So is this recording motion only, or just in general still?
This should be recording. Let me see if I can get the settings here.
I mean, does he have the option to like basically look for motion items as opposed to like, go through when I'm doing a search?
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah, the search here is just time and date. They don't have motion search with
this. What do you mean by motion? Like if
Well,
something's going
because
on?
if
it's
I
just a
wanna
stationary
exactly, as
picture
opposed to
all-
just like
for 2 hours
stationary.
or whatever.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
software and
This
indoor
one did
cameras.
that. You can
Right.
just put motion and it just shows you
Something-
when there was
something
motion during
happening.
that time frame.
Correct. Yep. Yep. Yeah, this one here doesn't show me much as far as motion other than the camera select. The camera, let me see this one. Yeah, it does a date search. It doesn't
Just
do.
date and time.
Yep.
Does it have time or just date?
No, date and time.
Okay.
So here's the date, and then here's the time. So it's AM and PM, and then you can go all the way down to the minutes and seconds
Okay.
if you need to, and then you just hit date search, and it will do that search for you. I'll have to check on the machine settings itself if there's an additional setting for motion. Those cameras definitely have motion capability and all that other good stuff. Whether or not this software will actually utilize that is something different.
You just got it. You didn't miss much.
You missed a whole lot.
Yeah.
No, we're just looking at the web
Oh, you
viewer.
brought the cold with you.
They sure did. It's freezing out there.
It is. Yep. Like I said, it's fairly simple as far as the operation of it. Again, you can view multi-screen, multiple cameras. Now these cameras are stationary, so there's no panning or tilting. Once somebody
they're
comes and
not
correctly aims them, that's it. You can digital zoom, so it will be. Do I have to select one? I think I have to select one. Oh, let me select this one.
Who straightens them out?
They gotta line them up.
Yeah,
I'm not viewing what
we got them online, but there was nobody here to physically make sure they're aimed.
Yeah, I think you just gotta take the hood off, and then there's a couple.
It's a matter of it's a matter of taking down the hood, and all the cameras, they all have security screws, so it's not just anybody can mess with these cameras, you know. So we can take the dome off, and then we have somebody out there
Someone in here.
who's
Okay.
gonna turn it, and then somebody here is saying okay.
Who is that? Us?
Well, we'll decide what we want it to view, and then once they have it scheduled, we'll make
Yeah,
sure
we'll just
someone's
schedule. We can schedule somebody here because it should have been done back
Yep.
on the initial install, but they were having problems just getting them connected to the network, so that's what they focused on. So this here will be actually focused toward those two doors, the front doors. So there's a camera at each of the 4 doors, and then there's a camera at the side where the chute is. So the way you will see the chute. Here's the digital zoom. So you just have a 4 times digital zoom. It comes out.
Yeah, so once we have them viewing what we want, again, we can zoom in from here,
Yep.
from either your computer, your laptop, or physically from the DVR. So if you wanted to.
Do these cameras
Zoom.
match this one?
This old system is not connected to this new system. The old system's obsolete. Once we redo this building, we'll discuss getting new cameras that will tie easily into this new existing system.
Yep.
So that's 2 separate systems for now, just because that's an old obsolete one that couldn't even connect to
Analog
this.
system.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is again like I believe 720p, high definition cameras.
IP cameras, which is basically just network cameras. So you can add additional cameras to it, and then
Is there
8
a
more.
website?
8 more.
Yeah, we're gonna give you a link, and all you have to
Yeah,
do is just
so you
click
can
on
set
that.
that?
Yeah, once we get it all set up,
Yeah, good.
you'll go right from your web browser. You'll log in. You'll have a name, username. You log in, then you'll be right at this viewer that he's on right now at his computer. And then again, we'll discuss, but we'll show how to replay, go back in time, see live views, and also be able to download time
In order to
periods.
save it.
Save it so you can send it to someone to look at. Again, we'll have we can physically go out after. We know there's 8 cameras now. It's physical wires running all the way through all the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
again, we talked about Zoom frame. Do we have the ability to just take pictures off of that? Like, if we take a single frame picture, or is it basically
no,
just
there
the-
should be a snapshot feature actually.
Because we can save, like, 1 minute or 5 minute, or whatever you want of footage, or you may just want to have, like, find the guy, take a snapshot, and send just a picture to
Yeah.
to someone saying, this here he is, or here's a license plate, or whatever.
The majority of what we want is if if someone dents a car in front,
Yep.
and it's between the time we leave Friday and the time we get back here Monday.
Okay.
We'll,
I
we
mean,
just gotta know how to get back there.
with the location, with the camera views that you're gonna have, I don't, the front door ones that are gonna look over the double doors, we'll be able to position those to have a little more view of the site. So with those 4 cameras that you have out there, maybe with those you'll be able to catch what's activity walking around, what's going on in the corner. But they also have one camera that is basically just looking down, looking at the chute, who's walking in to put out their trash, to go into recycling, who's walking by there. So you have kind of 2 cameras, one focused really on the chute in the shed opening area, and then another one that looks at the front 2 doors with people coming, where your guys go in and out daily, but also that camera we can try to catch whatever we can, open up that view to make sure we can see that sidewalk, that street, that doorway if we need. And really in the future, if you wanted to get another camera, wanted to put a camera somewhere, it's as easy as just buying a new camera, installing it, and then
Mounting it and getting it wired up to
Physically
one
running
of the
it.
switches. Yep.
to one of the switches in the basement. It's all powered right through that
Gee.
wire.
Is Woodrow hooked up to this?
Woodrow's is not hooked up to this, although it's the same system. And once we have
We'll do
it,
separate training for Woodrow. It's the same system,
same system, but it's not tied
we-
into this.
no, we'll have to get like a bigger screen and be able to log into Woodrow remotely.
Also, it's 2 different websites.
But Woodrow doesn't have any office,
No.
so you're just gonna get like a laptop or something?
Yeah,
A laptop if I'm
we would.
I mean,
there,
a
and
A
then
laptop
lock
if
it
you're
up.
there,
And then
but as long as you
we
have
can do it-
remote access to that
I can
network,
still look at it from
Yeah.
here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
they'll
that's.
just bring up another web page and with that site's cameras.
Yeah. So yeah, and then again, we have this laptop, our laptop that is for the boiler room, the one that came with the project. So that
Mhm.
will have that on, the Woodrow cameras on it. It'll have these cameras on it. Also all the boiler controls and everything else we add just to that laptop. So that from that laptop, when we remote to the other site, it will be the same thing. Just hit a link and you'll be on that system. And then when we're here, we can physically connect to it, or again, right from any browser.
Yep.
Anyone
From
can
any
log
browser
in.
we
So
should be able to
even
get
at
to
my
it.
office, I can go on my laptop and look at the same thing you guys are doing.
Anything,
Kevin, George.
we need a light tour